Hi Acadiana, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. It is Thursday, October the 10th. This is Acadiana Weather Today, a short morning chat on your upcoming weather conditions and how they're going to affect your day. Another crisp and cool morning here in Acadiana. Very quiet out here with clear skies. And still watching what's left of Hurricane Milton now moving away from Florida back into the Atlantic Ocean. We'll touch on that in just a little bit. But first, locally, we've got a lot of clear skies out here this morning. And again, those temperatures are nice and comfortable. And if you're doing some traveling this morning to or from work, or maybe you got some vacation plans here along the Gulf Coast, you're in good shape. We're going to see a lot of sunshine today and the roadways should all stay dry. And for those kids that are heading out to the bus stop, 61 early this morning, 87 as you get back on the bus later this afternoon and head home with lots of sunshine. Temperatures across most of Acadiana have dropped into the 50s and 60s, so very comfortable and very nice for October standards here. And we've got clear skies as a big ridge of high pressure is building in behind the front that came through earlier today. That front also helping to push Milton across Florida during the day yesterday. Numerous tornadoes, incredible storm surge, and some massive amounts of rain that moved across the central part of the state. A lot of folks without power again this time around, just 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene made landfall in the Panhandle. Looking at the satellite picture, that ridge of high pressure will be overhead today and then start to slide toward the southeast tomorrow. So a bit more of a return flow for the end of the week and going into the weekend. So some warmer temperatures as we get into Saturday and Sunday, but another front out to the west should sweep through sometime early next week, reinforcing some of this cooler and drier air. And of course, what's left of Milton is going to continue to scream its way out into the Atlantic Ocean. Fortunately, with that front coming in behind the hurricane, temperatures and dew points have dropped off a bit in Florida. So unlike what we see normally after a hurricane when folks lose power and temperatures are back in the 90s and it's super humid and nasty outside, they're actually going to get a little taste of fall. So for those who do not have power, that will certainly be a blessing. And as far as our offshore waters, still kind of rough out there, especially in the far offshore waters, but things will be improving in our nearshore waters. Generally, winds will be out of the north at about 10 to 15 knots, down to 5 to 10 a little bit later on this afternoon. And the rest of the Gulf of Mexico now is clear and hurricane free. So as far as Milton, it continues to make its way off toward the east, and radar showing that circulation now offshore, and they're still getting the very gusty winds there along the eastern coast and still dealing with some storm surge, especially over North Florida and then getting into portions of Georgia and South Carolina. And looking at some of our cameras here, one at Port Canaveral, which is on the east coast, showing that the breezy conditions continuing. And of course, we also have various locations up. Many of those locations still experiencing some rainy and some breezy conditions, especially on the east coast, while on the western coast of Florida, things are gradually going to improve. Unfortunately, over 3.5 million people are without power, and the power restoration process will begin later today. And of course, Milton is going to continue to make its way off toward the east. It is still a hurricane and will continue to push out into the middle part of the Atlantic. Meanwhile, Leslie's still kind of swirling around out there, and there's a couple of other areas that we will be watching that could potentially develop. One there off the African coast, and also going into next week, we want to be watching the western part of the Caribbean once again. Remember, the Western Caribbean is an active area for development during the month of October, and hurricane season doesn't end until November 30th. Of course, we'll go into more details on that on Let's Talk Tropics later today, live at noon. Your high today under mostly sunny skies should reach 88 degrees. It'll be pleasant out there. Tonight, still dropping back to 60. A little warmer tomorrow and Saturday. Highs still in the upper 80s. Nighttime temperatures not quite as cool, but we'll take low 60s. That's a lot better than what we see usually during the summertime months. So another front will start to come through next week, and that should push our temperatures back into the 50s at night. Well, I hope you enjoy Acadiana weather today. If you do, please like this video. Also subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications too. That way you know when Let's Talk Tropics starts live at noon. In between broadcasts, make sure you follow my social media pages both on Facebook and X. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Have a great Thursday, and I'll see you on Friday.